All right. Welcome to the 5-minute Steam machine. My name is Minty Jones. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I am a player of PC games. And this is my new series. So far, you'll have seen me playing like Space Engineers, Project Zomboid, 7 Days to Die, a little bit of Grid, Autosport, and a few others. And so some of you may think I am a hardcore player of these kind of games. And yes, I do like them. Space Engineers is one of my favorites, but I have other favorites too. Steam, for those of you that don't know what it is, I'm sure there's not many. If you're watching PC game YouTubers, then Steam is a client which enables you to gather all your games in one place, buy them, participate in community forums, talk about the games, join groups, meet people, and generally have a good time with computer games. The other thing it also does is makes it far too easy to purchase them. Yes. And this is one reason for this new series of the 5-minute Steam machine. Yeah. This is my profile on Steam. If you look at that right-hand column there, you'll see some stats. And if you look at games, and some people think this is good, but I'm a little bit ashamed. I have 1,249 games. That's a lot of games, especially when back in the 90s I was a Commodore 64 player, and I probably had about 30 or 40 games, and that was quite a big collection, but they were in boxes and cassette. There were cassette tapes and some floppy disks, and they took up, physical room in my life. Whereas Steam, obviously, as I say, enables you to download games in a digital format. They are cheaper. They're more amassable, and that's why I have such a ridiculous number there. That's not the only reason I have such a ridiculous number there. Before you go and say, "Wow, what are you, a millionaire? Do you just? How on earth could you afford all that?" Well, there is a secret to that. So here we are in the game view. If I just scroll up here and I collapse all of these categories, I've got categories of my games. They're my categories. They're mostly real ones. Some I've made up a bit more. It's hard to divide these games into categories. But if we look down the list and pull it down, it's well, to be short, it's completely and utterly ridiculous. I've played a lot of them. I've played probably hundreds of them, but I've not played all of them, and I've not played hundreds of them for hundreds and hundreds of hours. If we even take a look at the grid view of the games there, my blindingly fast computer is not even fast enough to load in the splash screens for all the games. But as we scroll down, you can see there's a few here that I'll pick out. There's Binding of Isaac, there's Blood Bowl. What else have we got? I mean, there's things I don't know what they are, and there's a reason for that, because of bundles, Humble Bundles, Indie Gala, Flying Bundle. There's a whole bunch of bundle sites out there which offer you anywhere from 3 to 10 games for $1 to $10. And that is how I have amassed such a huge number of games. And by no means have I got the most games out of anyone in Steam. I've seen people with far more. There was Dota 2 up there. That apparently is a very popular game, tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, there's a lot. And Neo Scavenger, now that is a cool game, cool roguelike. So there's a lot of games in here which I love and I've played, but there's a lot. I'm just going to install this. Yeah, I'll play this soon. but there is a lot that I haven't played, and I'm guilty. My biggest game in the past was buying games. I suppose I was a collector. You could call me a hoarder, and embarrassingly enough, Killer Apple, who's a friend of mine through a gaming group in Steam called the Nidd, he posted a picture recently in Skype, and that picture told a story of how much money my collection was valued at, and that's generally if I had bought them all at full price within the Steam store, and it also included a price if I'd bought them as a sale. And as we can see, if I pull that picture up, the whole set is worth £8,937 at full price in Steam, or £2,356 at sale price, and I've got a total of 4,358 hours, £3.49 an hour worth of play. But that's not a true representation of how much money I've spent. I've probably spent 75% less than that. Still a fair amount of money, but in 4 years, I can say it's justifiable when it's one of my main hobbies. So, whoa, who's this guy? Sorry, I think that might have been Apple's dog. Bit of a Star Wars tragic is Apple. So, in seeing this, it reminded me of a site, and this is a site I've looked at that I found years ago. I think it was called, I'll put this in, I can't remember the name of the actual website. Let's have a look. Steam Left, that's right. So Steam Left was a site that you could go to, put in your Steam ID. I'll just put my Minty Jones in there. Here we go. Epic Alien Guy. That's not me. That's not me. Who's Epic Alien Guy? And why does he think he's using my ID? And why is he called the Epic Alien Guy when his ID's Minty Jones? Oh, what's my ID? Oh, for goodness sake. Give me a minute. I should remember this because, well, my pseudonym on the net is Minty Jones. But I tried to take this across the whole of the net and use it for everything, but there is the odd person here and there that's used it. So my actual name is Mr. Minty Jones, of course, because I'm senior. So if we look at my, this site tells you how many continuous hours you'll need to play out your whole Steam library. And look at mine, it's 9,337, which is 1 year, 24 days, 1 hour and 43 minutes. Now imagine playing that non-stop without going to the toilet or eating or sleeping. So, I mean, I've worked out before. Look, I could watch Lord of the Rings trilogy a lot. I could catch every single Pokemon a lot. I could travel to the moon 90 times. Well, I didn't like Sherlock, so I won't bother with that. I'm not Tony Abbott, so let's go with that. The entire Hobbit trilogy, 1,150 times. Open heart surgery, 2,334 times. 4 summer vacations? Who has a vacation for more than a quarter of a year? That's outrageous. Anyway, I'll work this out if you incorporate sleeping and eating and maybe even working in a real job, making money. And I think I'd be dead before I got anywhere near the completion of my Steam library. So my Steam library is a collection. It's to pass on to my children, for them to pass on to their children. And the bigger game is, for someone in the future to be able to enjoy whatever they want from the library, because that's why there's so many games I haven't played, because I buy a bundle for maybe 1 or 2 games, and there's sometimes 3 to 7 other games in that bundle that I don't know what they are, what they're like. They're not my cup of tea, but the savings of the money to buy the 1 or 2 games that I want is worthwhile enough for me to purchase the whole bundle. And plus, it gives money to charity and things like that. So it's a good cause for me and for people in need. So that brings me to what this new series is all about. It's about playing my whole library. Because I can't feasibly do it in Let's Play series for each game. That's never going to work. I'll be old and crotchety and I'll have arthritis in my fingers and won't be able to press the correct buttons when I'm older, but I am going to present to you, hopefully, pretty damn regularly. I initially thought I could do a video a day, but I just don't think I have the time to dedicate to that. So there'll probably be 3 videos, or if you're lucky, 4 videos a week of me playing a different game from my Steam library within every video. And the catch is you will only see 5 minutes worth of me playing that game. So I'll essentially load up the game. I thought maybe that I will just load up the game and start recording as soon as the game's ready to play. But then there's a lot of games out there which have character creation, which have some kind of setting up, which have tutorials that you can't navigate around and things like that. And I thought, well, that might not be too fair to give I suppose a little bit more of a representation of what the game's all about. So I thought maybe I could play the game for an hour, record that whole time, and pick a 5-minute window within that hour or whatever that gives a nice representation of the game, or a funny moment in the game, or something worth watching, essentially. I thought, well, how am I going to play these games? Am I going to play them in category order? And I think the best thing to do is play them in alphabetical order. I don't know how this will work when it comes to series of games like Total War series, or even Blood Bowl series, or Tom Clancy series, or any other kind of series, because it might get a bit samey because you've got one video, or you could have Need for Speed. There's 4, 5, whatever videos in a row. They're all Need for Speed. Then again, that might make for good comparison between the newer games and show you the chronological development of a certain series. So I think that's going to be the best way to go. I'm not going to play one now. This was just to kind of explain what this is all about, and I hope you enjoy it. Another good reason for this is that the average watching time for a longer video on YouTube is 5 minutes. So guys, you can actually watch the video in its completeness. You can watch the whole video if it's 5 minutes out of your day. And I hope that you can enjoy that 5 minutes. Just have a cup of tea, or you're on the bus, crack open your iPhone, and there's going to be something for everybody here. I may use my webcam. You don't see that in this video because it's broken. I'm going to buy a new one. I've had a lot of troubles with my webcam, as any of you that have seen my older videos may have known. Don't buy Logitech. So I'll get a new webcam, and I think for a 5-minute video you might get some good reactions from my face. But without going on for too long, because this is definitely not 5 minutes, this is a bit longer to set the scene, but I promise you the rest of my videos, maybe apart from the intro, so it might be 5 minutes 15, 5 minutes 20 seconds long, or maybe an outro as well. You could say 5.5 minutes, but you don't need to watch the outro, so you could cut another 10 seconds off. Anyway, I'll leave it there. The game should be starting soon, within the next week or so. And yeah, I think it'll be a good time, a good thing to do. It will enable me to finally play my my entire library. I mean, that's still 6,000 minutes. That's 100 hours worth of gameplay. It's going to be 1,250 whatever videos over the course of a long time. If I did it regularly, it'll take a few years. So let's see how we go. It's a challenge, like many of the games I play. I love a challenge. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.